We have Drytron for you out of the OTS Championships. Rika, Sun, Avalon back at it again. Salamangreat, Dragon Rulers. There is a lot. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. You know, Drytron. You know, standard Vandy's ruler, you got the Amor Factor, good stuff in here. And then, yes, the transaction rollback with the Mayakashi Saga. Yeah, we've seen enough Yu-Gi-Oh! To know why we're playing these cards, because this exists. And we have learned that our dumping capabilities make this a reality. So, what flavor of degeneracy did you want to go with for your Drytron deck today? I chose the skip a phase, no special summon fun allowed, and just a generic turn skip to really bring it all together today. Can you taste that vintage flavor of no fun allowed? Because I think it's quite exquisite, don't you agree? And of course, we have a side of Quadardus down here in the side deck as well, with the Draconis in the main deck. I hope you enjoyed this little rendition of analyzing the Drytron vintage value. Alright, hey, Rika, Sun Avalon, piloted by the craft master themselves. So, 60 cards, by the way. We are playing the Humid Winds in here, which is good. You are doing the the Aromage stuff. Man, I wish we could play those cards with this. And of course, you're doing full Sun Sea combos. Basically, you're lumping this all together to create the perfect plant concoction in order to basically create the ultimate plant deck. I mean, you have one Dryas, now you have the one Sunvine, which now gives you, more room to actually tuck in Rosemary. You do have the Jasmines in here, and we do get to play one copy of Magnolia to kind of bring this all together. I'm actually very happy, and also, this stuff's not even playing the super expensive Dried Winds trap card, which I think is kind of a big W that you don't have to dedicate, a slot to that. It just, you have your option trees, and that's very strong. Oh boy, Salamangreat, playing the Salamangreat charge. I've genuinely enjoyed watching these Salamangreat decks out here try to find ways to evolve their card pools to go, hey, what's the best maximized value that we can kind of put in here to at least find a way to make things work. And Charge has found its way into a lot of these builds, kind of helping these decks out, giving them a chance to do its thing. And my favorite tech choice of all time, the deck lockdown down here, making sure that your opponent simply cannot. We've definitely learned that the value of deck lockdown is such an extremely powerful card. It's nuts. And hey, look, we get to side the two of Floodgates down here. Outside of that, Salad's still doing Salad things. You're tossing through the multiple Raging Phoenixes, and most of your boards that you should be sitting up on should be very, very strong, at least enough to put you into a game-winning position. So, good stuff. All right, next up here, Cash Money Dollar Bills. The deck, sporting some going second cards. Okay, so we have Change of Heart in here. If your opponent leaves the little Ambler Whale up on the field and they're like, ooh, scary, you just go ahead and you jack it on over to your field and you do whatever you want to with it. Every cash build is definitely doing the Heat Soul play now, where obviously toggle through the Draco Sack, you can make the double Ingariba with the G-Gold and Crystal Heart, and then you make the Heat Soul here in order to get some draw cards. I also find it very interesting that this build only chose to play like double evenly in the main deck, but having those option trees for you to be able to board break your opponent, I think is actually pretty important. And of course, hey, the Vanities Fiends. If Imperm was not such a relevant card right now, I'd consider this a very strong inclusion in a lot of these builds, but I don't know, the value that Fiend gets always feels a little bit questionable. Alright, hey, we have Centurion. What in the world is this? So, this Centurion build chose to play the triple Black Goat Laughs. We've seen discussion about this card, and it feels like a strong card, but just looking at how things are going today, I'm kind of impressed with this. The fact that we were able to kind of toss this on in here, and actually be able to do the thing. Super Polys for more board breaking. You have the triple Bonfire in here, because remember, Truday is a good card. We are playing the one Phalanx. We're not playing the one other spell card, but we are sliding the True Awakening down here. So, I feel like you got your bases covered. Your Synchro section pretty extensive here. I see we have the Red Supernova. We're actually playing Lulu Walleth. That's kind of cute to actually see. And then, of course, hey, the standard Super Poly trio. I feel like at this point, like, this is everything that you kind of want to see just to be able to get the game going. All right. We have some branded here. So we are playing the branded in white. I feel like this has been something that a lot more people have been trying out. It's a cute little idea, but I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit to be desired. I see the fusion duplication with the branded retribution just for those standard recurring options. Of course, thrust with the attack talents, and then the gas super polys. You know, they're. I think the craziest thing about this list though is there's no hand traps in here. For whatever reason, they did not need them. I mean, they just pushed the ashes and the drolls down into the side deck, and that was kind of all they wrote for this. You know what I mean? Like, to have those options, I mean, they're usually pretty straightforward and very strong, but, you know, in this format where you have to cut off the dead weight to be able to play the game, and you have to rely on your board breakers like this, you know, dig into things like this, it's going to be the only thing you can do. All right, next up here, we have, oh my, hello, Gold Pride. There was a lot of Gold Pride out of this weekend. Like, I'm genuinely impressed with how many people entered into the OTS championships and went, hey, we're going to play Gold Pride for this weekend. Of course, Nyan Yan being the best little extender that we had. And of course, your Punk package still being, I think, the relatively strong base that you need it to be to allow these decks, you know, the chance to capitalize. Also, playing one Upstart Goblin in here with 42 cards, that's a little bit cheesy in my opinion, but you know what? It looks like it did work out in the long run, maximizing on the utilities as you should be. We're playing one copy of Starcher Engines, and of course the one Dangerous Gabu for searchability. And of course, hey, look, Anti-Scam Fragrance. You gotta love having those key cards that you don't want to lose to. Alright, and one spell card can ruin this deck's entire day. Alright, what else we got back here? We have some Yubel. Yes, the standard Spirit of Yubel shenanigans. We are playing the Unchained mini package in here. We're playing one Yubel, one Terra Incarnate, and one Ultimate Nightmare. So we are going full gas up the crazy lines of play that we need to here. Now, this is an interesting tech choice. Chain Disappearance down here. When a monsters with 1,000 or less attack is summoned, banish that monsters with 1,000 or less attack. Then your opponent banishes all cards with the same card as that from the hand and deck. If your opponent summons Ash, you Chain Disappearance that thing, and it just goes woo. But the problem is if your opponent suspects a back row, it's probably going to be coming in. You know, you could do this. This is also for the, unironically, for the Yubel Mirror as well. Chain Disappearance actually seeing play out here for a multi-purposing access. Imagine you're playing Yubel and you get Chain Disappearance. Wild. Next up here, we have Dragon Rulers with Dragon Link. So we are playing a lot of the little babies in here. I mean, double Blaster, double Recton. Oh my gosh. And then 2 copies of the full gas value Lightning here. And this is actually pretty cool to see that the mini Dragon Rulers found an actual place in a deck this format, going, hey, you know, even though, you know, we're limited to 1, being able to have discard fodders for the Dragon Ruler mini babies out here so that you can basically go ahead and toggle through their once per turn little assets for extensions to be able to combo up and have your opponent go, what in the world's going on here? And of course, we do have a solid backing of reasoning out here. And I think this is my favorite part. We are playing the Red Eyes Black Dragon with the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon in here as well. You have so much coverage in this deck. Like, it's actually super cool to see. And the last list that we have here is more Centurion. You know, all of these little Centurion decks have been genuinely really cool to see. This one playing the Imseti package, you're basically going to be doing the Horus shenanigans. The Horus stuff makes sure that this deck has a very strong base to be able to kind of combo up through. We have the Cosmic Cyclones in here. You come here, play the Cosmics. You have double cross out in here so that you can basically shut down your opponent from, you know, hand trapping you out of the game. We've seen our fair share of no fun allowed, good pieces. And then, of course, I see we have the double deck lockdown. Deck lockdown was getting some crazy playtime out here. And, of course, the gravity collapse of insanity, because being able to just do this to your opponent is actually super insane. Yeah, I love my opponent basically getting floodgate conditioned out of the game on a counter trap card. Oh, man. So what do you guys think about these OTS decks? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Peace out. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.